T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Right now we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Studio Series number 83 in the whole line, not including the 86. I think they're separate numbering. I can't remember. But anyway, this is Soundwave from Transformers Bumblebee. Back here we see that he comes with the Cybertron Falls backdrop. And here's one thing I wanted to get into really quickly. They no longer have plastic in there for them to be on. They have them on this card right here, which also is artwork from the actual backdrop that comes in there. And you know what the weird thing about, they call this Cybertron Falls. That whole line where Optimus says, Cybertron is fallen. I was like, Cybertron is a big planet. He should have said like Iacon has fallen or something like that. But whatever. There he is on the backdrop. Yay. Going in the trash with the packaging. Because I don't care no more and I have too much packaging. I collect too much. Shout out to Matt, aka Partsformer, for picking this guy up for me. And then you know what? Very next day I go into the store and I find one. And I helped Extra Zero out because he didn't have one. Anyway, this guy looks just like what you remember in the 20 seconds of footage you saw with him in it. I can't say whether this coloring right here is accurate or not, but look at that. Look at that detail that they put in there. Like, I can't believe if this is actual imagery from the movie. I can't believe how much they actually took from the original toys and tried to incorporate it into the movie. It looks like it would have had, I never noticed this till now. The eyes are probably light piped, but they painted the visor red, so that defeated that whole purpose. But yeah, I like all the paintwork. It does a lot of things that we've all been complaining about as Transformers collectors of retail Transformers, that we want. The worst thing as far as looking at this guy, the worst thing that you see is this hollowness right there in the thigh. And I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of bad. If it was painted and not just plain ass white plastic, it might look a little bit better, like if they could have made it that gunmetal that's on his crotch. But look, the arms are filled in. The legs are filled in, like, very well. And that's good. You see his shoulder cannon? Stylized a bit. It can go up and down and rotate to the side and whatnot. And, let's see. If you didn't want it, like, visible, you can fold it up like this and have it on his back. Like that. This gun right here looks like this, and that can also store on his back if you don't want him to have any weapons visible. He has a eject button that works very well. That, I don't know, something is super satisfying about that. And here is the inside of that right here. Let's zoom in. So there's a big space for people like the Ravage that's going to be going with him. Now here is the War for Cybertron Siege Soundwave, which is another pre-Earth Soundwave. This is their version of what he would look like, which is super close to the G1 toy. They have backpacks. Now, funny enough, there is another figure called War for Cybertron, or actually, it's the Fall of Cybertron Soundwave. So, yeah, that's a huge coincidences all around. They use the same names over and over again. So, there you go with that. But I have a review on this Siege Soundwave if you want to see that. Alright, now that I've said a whole bunch of good things, let's start getting into the articulation and, unfortunately, the bad things. But the head is on a ball joint. It can actually look up higher than I would imagine. And let's make sure you see this head in detail. You see how they have the coloring right there? But yeah, you can look up a lot. You can rotate the neck And the neck is actually gray under there. Can't really look down that much. The shoulders, I hate these kind of shoulders. They go out by doing that. Instead of having another hinge under here, that's how they typically would do it. They didn't do that here. And he has a hinge. They're going this way because of transformation. So you can do that, but basically you would just rotate this. So it's almost like he doesn't have outward articulation. The back panel also gets out the way because of the transformation. But you do have swivel. He does have double jointed elbows. If we just bend the bottom joint, it stops there. Then you use the secondary and it's basically still 90 degrees. But let's do the top one first. Then the bottom. Or try to like mix them together and you get slightly over 90 as you can see. But the whole bicep is covered and I never really like that. There is no rotation in a wrist. Unfortunate. You get a swivel there. He can't push his own button. This is probably the first Voyager class Soundwave that can't push his own button unless you do this right here, where you reach the arm over and then it can kind of push it. But now this peg right here that is needed for transformation is in the way. And because of the way the arms work, I can't make it go out and angle down. So I can technically push it, but whatever. The waist. The waist, the waist, the waist, the waist. The waist is back here. So it does technically have a waist joint, but it destroys the whole illusion of the sculpt because the crotch skirt plops up. Kicking forward because of the way they sculpted this, and I think they did this on purpose. You can kick the leg over that, so he can get into a pose like this without breaking the sculpt. But technically, truthfully, if you want the full range, you gotta lift that skirt up. It can go all the way back, swivel right here, and kick out to the side. Double jointed knees, same thing as the elbows. The legs are so huge, even though it's slightly over 90, it's not really going to look like it. And I can't do anything to make it look more than 90. But those two bend, and this actually moves as well, if you want that. So that's all great right there, as far as the way this covers that knee bend. I like that. The foot. Foot can go back, come forward, rotate, and ankle pivot. I love all that. I love all that. So my main gripes with this guy is the way they designed the crotch. I don't like that. And I don't like the shoulders. If it wasn't for that, oh yeah, and it would have been nice to have a wrist rotation. Those three things, this would have been like the best studio series freaking ever. Because I typically have a ton of complaints about studio series. And in its defense, the complaints that I do have are more nitpicks than the complaints that I normally have, like things being loose or things not functioning correctly. And yeah, so it's hindered in certain areas, and that frustrates me and stops me from 100% loving it. All right, transformation. Take that gun off the hand and that gun off the back. This gun can rotate forward, so that peg is available. Put that stuff to the side. The hands. This panel opens up and the hand hides in there and shuts. Open it up, the hand hides in there and you can shut it. Let's rotate the head this way. There's more of that neck. The back. The back comes out and there's a mushroom peg. Spin that around. Then the back comes out again. Spin that around. Let's leave it like this for now. And now the arms these panels need to come up like this. And right here, this can rotate. Just know that this right here needs to come in front of the face. And let's let you see that. Like boom. And boom. Now, back here, or right here, these panels come out to the side so that the arms can go up like this and then rotate, come up like this and rotate. And now this peg hole needs to fit onto a peg right here. So keep moving make sure this stays there, but move the double jointed elbow until you can peg it onto the side right here like that. Now we're good to go there. Everything should be looking like this. Now the legs. The legs we rotate in like this until the knees are looking at each other. Now we need to see the hinge right here on the back. This is the back of his body. You need to open it up like this. Rotate this out like that. Same thing, open it up like this, then open this out like that. Start bending the legs this way, but before we get all the way there, we can lift this hinge up, rotate the foot up like this, bend this hinge up, which is the ankle pivot, rotate the foot until it's all the way up like that. Now we can continue to rotate this and bend this down. Rotate this and bend that down. These two need to come together. So start bending the knee right here so it can come up, and bring this up, and we can peg that together. Now rotate the knee even more. But this is kind of hard because it's like while you're pegging this together, we need to make sure things slide in between where his crotch used to be, and the legs are now also bent like this and they're not straight. But we need to get that as far back as possible. And now we can shut his back up, which has this Cybertronian flare or cockpit right there if you must. Now this peg hole right there needs to go into that peg that was blocking his arm from pushing the button successfully. But bend the hinge until we can get the foot over that peg and have it like this. On both sides. And now basically, oh wait, we can bring the knees forward. And basically here he is in his Cybertronian floating armored car device thingy. I don't know. It's Cybertronian. What you gonna do? He floats around, and I guess it can attack and whatnot. It doesn't need to look like anything really. But yeah, here's what it looks like on this side. I guess you could say he's a Cybertronian boombox or MP3 player. You still have access to your memory sticks that you can throw in there and the buttons. But if you want, you can grab this gun here and put this gun there. And now it can shoot at people. Let me see if these screw holes are actually 5mm. No, we can't put it there because the screw hole is 5mm. Let's see about this one. That one's a little bit more loose than this one, but you have that option as well. And if I can find it, I'm going to put it right here. This is actually from the early 80s comics where Soundwave actually transformed into something like this. Here's what I'm hearing from people. I don't know. I didn't actually read this myself. When they made all the robots in the Bumblebee movie opening sequence, I'm pretty sure for the most part, all of those robots were never planned to have actual alt modes. Pretty much most of them they designed to have some semblance of G1 look to them, but they never planned for them to actually transform into anything. So in the past 2-3 years since that movie has been out and done, Hasbro took it upon themselves to come up with different alt modes for these guys. And I think if they actually took something from G1 and made this actually change into that, that's really, really good. And the other vehicles, other Transformers, they transform into nice vehicles that look like this was the whole plan the whole time. And I do think that's actually cool. So here you are with this. Let me transform the other Soundwave. All right, here it is next to the Cybertronian mode of the Siege version. And you know what's scary? I've owned this toy for 4 years. And I'm just realizing that this is supposed to be the knob details on the side of his legs because it's all rusted out. I never noticed that. And here is the Netflix version of Soundwave right there. So, and since we have a cassette right here, I can see firsthand that this won't be able to fit in here. Nope. Not even sideways. So there you are with that. Since this is Studio Series, I typically do reverse transformations. Unplug the feet. Lift this up right here. And we can start sliding this down and bringing things down like this. Sliding that down and can lift it up and then bring that down like this. Now we can take this panel, fold that in, and fold it to the back of the leg on both sides. Fold it in, la-di-da-di. This is self-explanatory. We just need it to be facing the crotch. We need the knees facing the same direction as the crotch. The feet, same deal, self-explanatory. Shove that up, rotate it to the direction it needs to be in. Back here, we can rotate that. But this part also needs to rotate so that the same color isn't seeing each other. You can shut this. And this is actually cool to me that it has a transparent window cockpit inside the body. Like, that feels next level for retail Transformers. They've been cutting out of detail for that. And since we got that, that's probably the budget went away from this because of that. But bring the arms out like this. Bring the arms out like that. Now they can come back down and come down. So we can shut this panel and shut that panel. We can move this off of here. Shut that panel. Move this off of here. Shut that panel. Bring the arm down. Rotate the arms forward so that the inside of the elbow is right there. And this is all painted. I didn't mention that. That's all gunmetal painted. You can rotate this. Get the hands out of there. Grab that, open that up. There's little nub divots right there, so we can do this, and bam. To complete Soundwave's look completely, we need to have the shoulder cannon. He almost always has his shoulder cannon if he doesn't have his straight up gun. And I hope all that screaming isn't there. My nephews are here, and they are not the best behaved. Anyway, he's alright, he's cool. He could have been better with a certain piece of articulation here or piece of articulation there, or different engineering in the shoulders completely. Y'all heard me complaining. I'm not going to keep harping on that. It's not a horrible figure, so I don't want to keep complaining it to death and making people's decision, even if they liked it already, and they hear me keep complaining. They're like, yeah, I don't want it now. You're right, T-Man. I mean, I appreciate you guys taking my word for things, but I don't want to completely destroy your hopes and dreams for figures and make you down on purchases you want to make. Thank you for watching this. Until next time, T-Man 978 out of here.
Figure action. That one's me.
Join the Syndicate Toy Hunters Facebook group. Link in the description.
Click the videos. Click the
videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those in videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should click those videos.